everyone, it's time for another commentary podcast. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And finally, Eric and I are going to do something that we have done before.
Yes.
That I'm sure some of you, folks that have been with us for a long time, will remember and will have heard. This is a really special occasion for me and Eric. And
we got wine. We're in suits.
I don't know why it's taken as long as it has.
I do.
Yeah. We came here in a limousine. We came to my house.
I know why it's taken as long.
Headquarters in a limousine.
It's because I don't own this movie.
Is that what it is?
And I've never been able to justify buying it. And you're like, you should buy that so we can do a commentary. I'm like, yeah, I should.
I get duped to buy crappy movies, so we do commentaries. I'm not even calling this a crappy movie, necessarily. I mean, I gave it a 1.5, but I still enjoy it.
Look, when I bought Batman Forever and Batman and Robin twice in the same weekend, I think I've paid my dues on buying crappy movies.
That was enough. Yeah, now he lives here with me, and he can get all the crappy superhero movies just off the superhero shelf.
That's true.
Yeah. So, Eric and I, years ago, on his channel, on even a peripheral channel.
A side channel that I did 4 commentaries.
Yeah, did the Power Rangers movie, and it was the first commentary you and I ever recorded, and it was the first commentary I ever recorded, period. And it led eventually to my thinking it might be neat to do these commentary podcast tracks to see if anybody would be interested in it.
And calling it a commentary is somewhat not exactly correct, because you weren't watching half of that movie.
No, that's right. Yeah, that was a really strange experience.
You were just talking about the movie.
Yeah, because I didn't have a great setup at that point, and my program kept stopping on me and freezing up. So I had to keep talking about the movie. This won't happen tonight, happily, especially because we're in the same room. So if it happens to one of us, it'll happen to all of us. But you mess with one of us. But Eric and I were, while we were doing that commentary, were off at different points in the movie. So I had to base what I was saying off my recollection of the scene Eric was talking about, and then pretend like I was watching it. I think I did fairly well.
I agree. I didn't know until after.
The second one we did was Ninja Turtles, and that was also a commentary that ended up not working out. And that we had to do later, but we have done that one.
What happened? That one just never got done, right?
No, we got halfway through it, and something broke down, and we weren't able to finish it. So anyway, we'll stop talking about our history with attempting to.
I'm sure, like 1 or 2 parts of, because this is so long ago. It was the 10-minute video cap.
Yes.
So it was in like
a bunch of parts, and it was really strange because you actually used the footage.
Yeah.
And so you had to line all that up.
Before I even thought of, like, oh, this is a bad thing to do. I wouldn't do that now.
Well, that was the whole reason you didn't put it on your main channel, though.
Yeah, because some of the... But I never even thought to be like... Although I...
To just put it up as a track and then have people sync.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that in 10-minute part videos.
No, exactly.
There'd be no way you could sync it.
You couldn't have, yeah. And happily these days, we've already got a 3-minute introduction. We're not concerned with length.
But there might be 1 or 2 of those parts still up there, because I remember like random parts were getting taken. It was the parts with the music I think got taken down.
Oh, is that what it was? It wasn't even for this video.
I think. I might be wrong.
We should go back at some point. Is that channel even still there?
It's the internet. Everything's there forever. I think it's still there.
Okay.
No, I'm almost positive it still is. Because I did some AMVs on there, and I think those are still up.
So finally, we're doing the Power Rangers movie, and this will be cool because I certainly know more about Power Rangers than I did at the time that we did that. And I've been at Power Morphicon since then, so I'm sure I'll think of things to talk about that I never had before. And you said it's been a long time since you've seen this.
I can't remember the last time I saw it. I'm sure
it might have been when we did.
I'm almost positive it's not, but it might have been. But the thing with this movie is, I'm sure I've watched it once or twice since.
Yeah.
But the thing with this movie is, it's like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I feel like whether I enjoy or do not enjoy this film flips every time I see it.
Oh, interesting.
Because I had that with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I have it with this. Where, like, sometimes watching, I'm like, oh yeah, this is really bad. And sometimes watching, I'm like, this is still fun. I enjoy this. So,
well, we'll see which one it is this time, what the coin flip is. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm so excited to finally talk about this with you, Eric. We're going to get rolling. So put your DVD or however you want to watch it. This used to be on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore.
I don't think so.
But get it to timestamp 0 as always and get ready to press play when I say now. Eric, are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Everybody, please press play right now.
You could always just watch the beginning of season 3 where they remade this movie different.
Yeah, and sync it with this.
Yeah.
See how that
this.
lines up. Be interesting.
Sure, lines up great.
Sure. Maybe we'll do those at some point.
That could be fun to do as a follow-up to this.
Sure.
And I've...
People really have enjoyed some of the Power Ranger commentaries we've done and have asked for more, so maybe we'll do that.
And I've not seen those in years. Those are not things I really remember at all, so...
See, it's so odd that you and I did Green with Evil.
Yeah.
But we didn't go back to this, and I could not figure out why. It's because you didn't have the disc.
Because I didn't have the disc.
Hilarious.
Are we watching Star Wars? Did we put the wrong disc in?
Well, no, because they don't have any kind of an effect where it looks
That's
like
true.
it's
It's
getting
not going
smaller.
into
It's
space.
going into space, yeah.
You know, this is not the place to bring this up, but is it possible to do a science fiction film without a scroll? I feel like even
Not everything has a scroll.
But
It's more of a fantasy thing even than it is a science fiction thing, I feel like.
I feel like a lot of sci-fi does it up front.
A lot of older sci-fi does. We still do a whole lot of voiceover stuff.
Yeah. It's like we don't trust people to just accept our world. We have to set it up.
So there's of course an inherent contradiction right away in that. That was weird. It doesn't say Mighty Morphin in the title. It's just Power Rangers. Yeah. Which is interesting because, of course, the box has Mighty Morphin, and the new movie we're getting is just Power Rangers. Saban's Power Rangers. They took that from Marvel, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But anyway, wow, these guys look young. So, but there's an inherent contradiction in the scroll because...
Do you think Buck is really jumping out of his plane?
No, he's not. He
I
told me so himself.
That's why I was making that joke.
Yeah, but other people might not know that he told me that himself. So, but what I was going to say is, inherently, there's a contradiction in the scroll where it says the 6 Rangers, and of course, it started with 5 originally, but this is out of continuity.
It is.
So you have to assume that in this universe, it was Tommy at the beginning from the first place, and it was White Ranger, and we never had Green, and maybe even Zed and Rita were together and the bad guys from the very
Rocky
beginning.
And Adam might have been the
original Rangers. Because there's no discussion about the rest of it, and you have to. It's so weird because then the second movie, Turbo, is not a sequel to this.
No, it is. I don't know how Turbo got in theaters.
I don't either.
So they're real bad at hiding their secret identities, yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because of the colors, and because of course they all love to do martial arts and they all do a lot of acrobatics. And as I said in the rewind, this whole sequence is telling us the very important information that the Power Rangers are athletic.
And
we got to establish that right away.
And that they're thrill seekers and enjoy. I mean, this is not a bad opening for a movie.
I don't think so either. It's immediately making a big deal out of.
You can do stuff like that when you're jumping out of a plane.
Well, because A, I was in mortal terror, and B, and this is post my jumping out of a plane.
Yeah,
we're talking about this.
Yeah.
I also was on the back of a guy, and he wasn't going to start flipping around.
Hey,
and I wasn't
going to flip.
Hey, would you mind if I flip you? I don't know how to do such a thing, but I'm going to try.
Screen. Or maybe.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's not great.
Maybe us and the other people, we could form a ring and hold hands.
That's not great. Although you and I the other day watched Return of Captain Invincible, which has really bad green screen, so I'm not even noticing crappy green screen right now.
And I'm sure I made this point in our original commentary because it's always bothered me. Do not jump out of a plane with a board strapped to your legs. You're gonna break your ankles. There's no way you land.
I mean, people do that.
Do they?
I think so.
That seems really dangerous to me.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. Well, and of course, those were stuntmen doing that.
I am clearly not an extreme sports guy.
No, not at all. Eric only engages in extreme sports.
Yeah.
That's his joke. He made that the other day off camera. But what I was going to say is, I like that opening because it's really exciting for kids. It's like, because remember, episodes often opened like this.
Yeah.
We're doing some kind of
dirt
sport.
Bike riding.
Go-karts or whatever it is. And often a lot of karate championships and stuff. So if, automatically feels like you're watching a way bigger Power Rangers episode. We got a big budget. We may not have been able to jump out of a plane in the show. And I like that. And, of course, kids are immediately going to be excited. Oh, they've got their colors. It's always about the bright primary colors.
Yeah. You know, and I wasn't thinking when we. So we were looking for something to do a commentary to, and we both kind of in a science fiction-y place, and we were looking at maybe some science fiction movies, stuff like that. And he brought Power Rangers. I was like, yeah, they go off-world, that counts. But this also kind of fits into my current kung fu kick.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
It's hitting both of those at once.
Not like it's a great movie or anything, but
well,
yeah.
No. I mean, this kid, he should have been nominated for supporting, right?
He's not bad, though.
No, as far as kids go.
No.
Oh, I can finally
and
find out.
for Power Rangers, there's not a bad performance in this movie, I don't think. Power Ranger standards.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. I don't think so.
And I mean, Ivan Ooze is too good for Power Rangers.
Yeah, oh, yeah. But, I was going to say something.
So I have met, what, 3 of these guys? 3 of the 6? Yeah, I think so.
Did you meet Adam? Did you,
No, I haven't met him. He
Johnny
was...
Bosch, that's his name.
Yeah. Oh, I think I saw him at a panel, but I didn't actually talk to him. But I've met Rocky twice. I've met Tommy, of this group. Oh, and Billy, of course.
Right.
And I've seen him twice now. Or what? No, I've seen him twice.
I really like Johnny Young Bosch from other things.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's an anime guy.
And he's a musician too.
Yes, he is. I have not heard his music.
They did a concert at Power Morphicon, but I didn't get to see it.
But I really like Johnny Young Bosch from anime stuff. He's Vash the Stampede. Hey, that's a character I referenced at some point while we've been hanging out, Vash the Stampede.
Angel Grove right now is looking curiously not Japanese.
That's true. But I think he's the one person of this cast in this movie. He could have been in some real movies. Not real movies, but he could have been in a Steven Seagal movie.
So, don't you think it was a really odd choice to do this out-of-continuity thing?
Yes, until you remember that, Saban has nothing to do with this movie.
Oh, yeah. But then it could have almost been like an alternate origin thing. I'm a little surprised it wasn't an origin thing.
Well...
I mean, then it would have to kind of go off
right?
onto
you
like a whole
White
other...
Ranger.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could have just straight up done the White Ranger in the beginning.
Well, and this kind of pretends like we had that maybe from the beginning with the whole 6 power coins thing.
Yeah, but we are away from... this isn't real... We haven't started doing origins for everything yet. I mean, you think about the movies around this time, a couple years after, a couple years before. The Phantom's not an origin. The Shadow's not an origin.
Well, that's true.
Other things I can't think of are not an origin.
Well, and even 89 wasn't.
Yeah, 89's not an origin.
Yeah, that's a really good point. No, you're absolutely right. It is just, this is what it looks like right now and what's popular, and so we want to capitalize on that. And so it's got to be the faces that the kids recognize.
Yeah.
Well, I mean... that. But it's got to be a new villain.
Yeah. If the show carried on from this would feel like an event. This is only not in continuity because they continue on ignoring this.
Yeah.
Well, and some of the ways
but there's a lot of stuff inside of it that's too contradictory to what was there before.
Is there? I mean, other than the Zordon stuff?
I feel like there's other things.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like kind of what they do with Turbo and what we do with...
Well, no, you're right. I mean, most of what we think of when we talk about the weirdness of this not being part of the show is, well, we do this story differently right after it.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're absolutely right about that.
I mean, Zordon being there is weird.
Well,
he's never been there.
Well, yeah. Part of it is Zordon's a different thing in this.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually in the tube rather than being in another dimension.
That's
so that's contradictory. Yeah,
that's the big one.
I knew there was some other real big thing.
But
it has been a while since we've seen this, as we said earlier.
I'm surprised that this didn't get used like the 66 movie and like Turbo did, where we would just use these sets. Like, we would have great movie-looking command centers.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of background stuff with.
Well, and I felt like that with Zeo, where I was like, I thought the command center to the command chamber was kind of a step up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if people agree with me on that, but
it looks cool. I like it.
But I always thought, and I mean, like, I don't know if that it's all that much less impressive than this. Like, I always thought that looked like a thing that you would use for a movie, and they got to step things up a little bit. But you're right. When this came out, I think all of us kids expected this to be what the show was going to look like from now on.
Yeah.
Because you've got those costumes. It's like the Borg in First Contact. Once you have those suits, we use them everywhere in Voyager because we have them. And we use the same 4 or 5 Borg costumes all over the place.
Now, there's a really distinct reason we don't use the costumes. Well, there's 2, actually, distinct reasons we don't use the costumes from this movie.
One of them, obviously, is because we're still using Sentai footage.
The other one is, apparently those costumes are really brittle, and they break constantly.
Oh, wow.
And apparently if you look for it, you can see the suits cracking in scenes.
I'm not a big fan of what Zordon looks like in this.
I'm not either.
And I kind of wish... I mean, I don't mean to be a purist about it since this is out of continuity, but I still wish it was David Fielding's head.
Well,
and part of that is just, I really like David Fielding.
I'm curious...
And Fielding told me when I interviewed him that he wanted to be in this.
Oh, yeah?
And they decided to recast and just go a different direction. Or, I can't remember... Okay, that interview is online, so you can go back and listen to that. But I think it actually might have had something to do with, like, travel and stuff, too. I forget.
Okay.
But,
I was going to say something about Zordon. Other than I'm curious, did they know when they were making this movie that it was not going to be in continuity?
Who knows?
I want to say I've heard stories that making this movie was really, really rough on them because they were shooting the show in the day and then at night going and shooting this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
And there's...
But aren't they in different locations?
I don't know.
Is this shot in New Zealand or is this shot in Australia?
Yeah, L.A.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Isn't that where Power Rangers is shot initially?
Yeah, but I thought this they went to, like, New Zealand and stuff for.
I don't... Well, probably for when they...
I'll look that up to make sure.
Probably for when they go to the alien planet.
But I thought it was maybe all there.
He's all shiny.
Again, I don't mean to be a purist. I'm not a big fan of Zed's look in this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I really don't like Goldar's. I wish we could have gotten a little bit closer to
I really don't like Squat and Babu's look in this. They merged him, became a pig guy.
Yeah, I don't know why. I can't remember why they did that.
I want to say at some point in the past couple of years, information about this movie has come out.
More
and
stuff,
one of them is there's like a 2.5 hour cut of this movie, and there's a lot more of the pig guy.
Zed looks in the face less sinister to me.
Does he? Really?
In this, yeah. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just wrong. You know how much I love Zed.
Yeah. I think he looks.
I like the shininess of it. Yeah. I don't know. It's just the expression is not as mortifying. Like,
I don't know.
It's not scary.
I like it. You're wrong.
But Ivan Ooze's look is inspired, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I've always liked that.
Hey, look, he doesn't look anything like Apocalypse.
He doesn't. Okay, we've got that out of our systems. That guy was at Paramorphicon. I didn't get to talk to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's great.
I wish I had gotten to go to, especially since we're talking about this now, I wish I'd gotten to go to the movie panel, because that was the day before I got there.
Oh, that's cool.
He was at the Mighty Morphin panel, but he said nothing.
Huh.
Because nobody ever asked him a question.
Oh, okay.
Because most of that was Q&A. I mean, he didn't look upset that like he didn't want to be there or anything, but nobody was asking him any questions.
I wonder if that movie panel's online.
It is.
I would be interested to see.
It is. I listened to some of it.
Okay. Because this movie really seems like one of those movies that there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stories about. Oh, you know what? I don't like the body on it at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a bikini version of his.
Yeah, it's not thick enough.
Well, it doesn't cover enough of his chest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. The bone structure. Pretty. Oh, Zed has a different voice in this too.
Yeah.
That's not Axelrod.
No.
I don't think.
I don't remember that.
I'll look that up too.
It could just be like a different voice modulator on him or something like that.
Yeah. It's too modulated. They did too much to it. I've always said that Ivan Ooze could have been Robert Englund.
Oh, yeah.
And if I had asked him anything, it would have been if he thought at all about that when he did this performance, because I feel like he's channeling Robert Englund.
I agree. Especially when he's destroying the command center. That's really Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, and some of the one-liners.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean.
But when he first meets them, the first thing that makes me think of Robert Englund, we'll see it here in a minute, is when he says like, "Where's my autograph book?" and when he says the Brady Bunch reunion, like that's real Freddy Krueger to me. Not that I'm a big Freddy Krueger fan.
So the first time we did this commentary, we had a field day with morphological.
Yes, we did.
And I found out it's a real word and a real scientific term. It's used in Fractions Iron Man.
That doesn't look bad.
No. When Tony gets the bleeding edge armor that is like liquid metal inside his bones, he describes it as morphological.
I've done a video or two on this game, but you can play as Ivanhoe in the in the Power Rangers fighting game for Super Nintendo, and that's kind of fun. There's a code you can use to get Ivanhoe. He's the big boss at the end of it.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a Zord fighter. I don't know if you've played it.
Yeah, long ago when I was a kid. That'd be a fun game to play. I know you've already done a video on it, but
it'd be fun to
play games. We do that occasionally.
Well, yeah, occasionally we'll.
Sometimes we do things that aren't on video.
That's right. That's right. We usually milk it for all it's worth. You know,
yeah.
we kind of show our personal lives to the whole universe, but that's one too.
That's really Robert Englund.
Yeah. And I'm not saying he's ripping him off too much. It
just
reminds me of him.
Yeah.
Like, no, I think he's just wonderful in this.
These guys don't look great.
I always thought he really threw himself into this role, and like he seems to kind of get this material.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, and of course, Welcome to My Nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a direct. They are also. That's what it is. They are also thinking Robert Englund to some degree.
Yeah, they must be.
They have to be.
So I'm kind of interested to know if the comics will ever touch on him.
Because I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be really
wonderful,
cool.
And then we could get it into that continuity because the comics are more or less in the same continuity as the TV show. Like they're not. They haven't yet gone so far out of the way that they don't integrate. I mean, besides just some tonal differences in more character dimension.
I need to read those.
Yeah,
I've only read the first issue.
We should review them.
Okay, sure.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Or we could just read them
when there's a good arc break.
Yeah.
And then I can start reading them monthly. This song's not great.
No, it's not.
That joke's not good.
I do like that it opens with a classic rock song, though. I think that's really cool because that's another thing that really separates it apart from the show, where it's like, oh, we've got real music in this show. Well, okay, that's not fair. I mean, I love Wasserman. I don't mean real music. I just mean radio music.
Yeah.
Ron Wasserman, if you're listening, I apologize.
You remember when you really liked my kid?
And he has commented on that video.
I know.
So he could listen to this. I don't think he will, but he could.
I think he's keeping up to see if we mention any more, if we do any more Power Rangers videos.
He wants to know if we're talking about his music anymore.
Well, you talked about at one point having just Jason and I sit down and do a video talking about Power Rangers.
Yeah. You
could. Has he finished Wild Force yet?
I think he's real close.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, some of it was in Australia. Yeah, a lot of it's in Sydney, New South Wales. Yeah, it's all Australia. I was right about that.
Okay, cool. So I must have been wrong or misremembering what I'd heard about how they were shooting it. Maybe it's just that they didn't get a break. They went immediately off season to the movie to on.
I think that's probably what you were thinking of. Yeah. What do you think of what the revamped theme song sounds like in this movie? It's
all right.
I don't love it. It's not hard edged like that.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't sound like Metallica. It sounds like it's more poppy than that.
Well, and I have gotten to a place where I am tired of this theme song.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of done with this theme song.
Is it just because we keep using it in the new shows? Because I don't think we should be doing that when it's not a Mighty Morphin-esque show. The only show that really could have gotten away with it is Dino Thunder, and I don't even know if that should have done it.
There's another one a little bit later, Jungle Fury.
Megaforce makes sense to a degree since it's supposed to be a legacy thing.
But that would have felt cooler if we hadn't just done it in Samurai.
Oh no, of course. Yeah, that's the problem with that. And also, that show's not good, so
Yeah.
I would want to save it for one I liked.
But there's also even before we really started doing that, it became like a thing that a lot of like power metal bands did. Like, oh, we're doing the Power Rangers theme. I'm like, yeah, everybody does the Power Rangers theme at this point.
No, you're right. So, Zordon should just not have, cracks in his building.
Well, you make a door that closes and doesn't have cracks.
Doesn't have cracks at all? Yeah, well, I don't know. You could use some force fields. I mean, we're always really ambiguous about what exactly Zordon and his powers are capable of doing.
And how far away this vast desert is from Angel Grove.
Yeah.
Because they walk there sometimes. I think in this movie they walk there.
Do they actually walk there?
Because they destroy the command center so they can't teleport.
Oh, that's right.
They walk there.
So it's just right outside of Angel Grove. Well, to be fair, where that shot is California. Mm-hmm. I mean, like the observatory
right
thing. Yeah, because the observatory thing that they shot, that's a real thing. That's a real place.
Really?
Yeah, and I forget what it's called, but it's an old observatory. And it was one of the locations that the Thursday before Power Morphicon, they took a bus and took people to.
Oh, that's super cool.
And I wish I'd gotten to go early and go to it.
I love that he pulls out an actual flute after saying it's time to pay the piper.
And then just zaps things with it.
But as a kid, I always thought that the flute was like, he was like shooting things out of the flute. It's clearly just like his powers and he's using a flute as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's not like the flute is a weapon. I thought the flute was a weapon as a child.
The Brady Bunch for you. I
That's
don't
my
know
favorite
why.
joke.
I love that line.
Yeah, me too. Of all the horrible things he missed.
Yeah, that's fun.
Oh, this is why they didn't reuse this set.
Oh, that's right. They blew it up.
Look how sad Zordon looked. Do you see his face? He was sad.
Okay, but remember we reversed footage at the end and put it back together, so no.
Yeah, but you can't do that in real life. They probably shot those scenes before they destroyed it.
Oh, I never thought of that. I feel like an idiot now. Of course they did that.
You reverse footage. It doesn't reverse time.
It's like if you have another bridge in Star Trek that looks just like your bridge because it's a sister ship, you didn't build a second bridge. I read a review once where someone thought that that's what happened in the Tholian Web original series. They were like, "Oh, it's amazing! It looks exactly like that other." Yet they used the same set. What's wrong with you?
There's also there are pictures.
Some people hate these. Does that bother you?
No, it's a cool little feature that they couldn't do in the show. It makes sense that they would have lights on their heads.
Yeah, I think so too.
Kind of.
It's Power Rangers. It can be silly. Like I don't think that's too silly for Power Rangers.
No.
What is it?
There are photos of the shooting of this movie. The original designs for these costumes did not have the visor or the mouthpiece.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was gonna be like an open face. And they were convinced not to do that. I want to say the actors. I don't like this. This seems like an excuse to sell a toy.
Yeah,
I mean, I know it's Power Rangers.
Yeah, so
it also looks like a VR Trooper thing or like a knockoff Power Rangers toy that you would find. Like, it doesn't look like a Power Rangers helmet.
It looks like RoboCop.
Yeah. Let's power.
And now
up.
He doesn't
That's
have
bad.
it.
That's bad, Tommy. You should feel bad.
Yeah, because you're not doing anything that powered you up.
Yeah.
Like if you all stood there and did like a pose, and then there was like energy
or if that was
around
the movie
you.
Version of It's Morphin Time, something like that. That's fine.
Yeah, but we're already morphed.
I know.
So. And yes, I realize it's Power Rangers, but there are lines that are too cringy even for Power Rangers. I guess
just in the wrong context.
Like, it's
again,
hard to
Let's
decide
Power
where
Up
to...
wouldn't be bad as a morphing call.
No, it is hard to decide where to draw the line sometimes, though, right? Like,
I mean, I have a line that makes sense in my brain, but I couldn't explain it to you.
I've always liked Tommy's. I can't we're on audio, so I can't do it. But you won't know what I'm talking about unless you're watching it. But I always like Tommy's trademark like stance that he does with the way he holds his hand. He's like kind of kung fu.
And I'm sure that is some kind of stance.
Oh, it is.
Like it's something.
Yeah, because you'll see him do it when he's just doing martial arts.
Yeah.
Outside of Power Rangers. And I mean that's why you cast
are really bad.
Yeah, they're really bad. That's why you cast real martial artists.
Yeah.
Because they bring their own unique style to it.
Well, and they've kind of found, I think, a middle ground as the show's gone on. Where like some people are martial artists, some people are cast because they're better actors, things like that.
But that's how you can tell. I guess I just mean for the original, because it was so much more about that.
Yeah, they were all martial artists, or in some way they were all athletes.
Athletic. Yeah, I think you can maybe tell sometimes when it's the actual actor in the costume, when it's not, based on some of those unique stances they do.
I didn't remember that. That's bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that went to Roger Rabbit territory real quick.
So, I never would have thought of this without you bringing up the Freddy Krueger thing. Their faces are kind of like Michael Myers. That can't be
they're a little creepy.
But...
No, I'm sure it's not. Because what you're really saying is their faces are like Shatner.
And their hair looks like the remake of Halloween, Michael Myers.
And that was well after this.
Inspired by, I think.
Oh, of course, yeah, naturally. Wait, why would that?
I don't like their
over?
new weapons.
Why would that knock him? No, they're bad. And I don't know if they made toys of those, but those would be lame toys.
They're bad.
Yeah?
They should feel bad, and they don't connect to make a gun, and that's really what we need in our weapons. Our swords actually should make a gun.
Tommy is constantly doing these kinds of sideways, impossible
I don't like the
superhero
kicks.
And he does the corkscrew kick later.
Yeah, that's the one I really... You can't do that in physics.
Well, no, but that's what I like about it.
Is it?
Well, yeah, because what are the Power Rangers' powers if they're not doing impossible martial arts?
That's true.
No, it should be something that you can't do physically. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I just think it's weird that Tommy's signature move in this seems to be some kind of a kick sideways from a high place.
Yeah.
He does it like
moving
at least two, if not
you're kicking.
more times. Yeah. Yeah, he even almost lands that way. But no, you have to give them impossible physics, Eric, because otherwise, what are their powers?
Yeah, no, that's true. You're right.
And the TV show has that, too. I mean, that's always my big favorite thing to complain about Power Rangers is I don't know what the difference is between suiting up and not suiting up.
Yeah.
So they kind of have a difference. I like that.
Wow, that's...
Oh, that was convenient.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Weird timing.
But see, they faked him out because it looked like Saba was going to cut him up, but then he just went up and laser-eyed it. Oh. And Saba does not come back, and because he's replaced with an eagle. Is it still Saba on the handle?
I think it is.
In the movie? I'm talking about specifically in this film.
I don't know, because he doesn't talk or open his mouth or anything later.
Yeah.
And I don't think he even has a line in this, does he? I don't think he says anything.
Yeah, I guess not.
I think he calls him Saba so that the kids in the audience can be like, "Yeah, you said Saba!"
Oh no, ooze. Shiny ooze, mother of God.
And of course, the question you have to ask yourself is, if it started with 6 in the first place, why does he have a special costume? Why does he have a talking sword? Well, it doesn't make any sense.
What is the wording exactly on the 6? Because, remember, the Green Ranger coin did always exist. Rita takes that at some point.
Yeah, but it didn't start with 6. That was like a special coin that was made later, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
And in the canon of Power Rangers, I want to say, when you go back in time to other groups, it starts with 5.
I don't know.
I might be wrong about that. And I guess that makes it okay. If it really did start with 6, and then they lost a coin, so he had to only bring in 5.
I think that's how they play it. But we've talked before, Power Rangers doesn't actually have a mythology or anything, and we filled a lot in. We filled a lot in as kids, so I might be wrong.
I don't know what that is, but I always assumed that 6 coin was made later.
I know that I'm almost positive it's not something Rita makes.
I can't remember. I can't remember what he says in Green with Evil.
This makeup looks not great. This looks like TV makeup. Like, this would be fine on Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and it's glaring because Ivan Ooze looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that might be lighting and stuff.
Yeah. You didn't know that Zordon was Kryptonian, but now you do. That's the ship he was sent here as a baby.
Oh, okay. And then they just put it right side up. They made it vertical.
Mm-hmm. And they just it's.
Oh, still... I thought you meant. Oh, okay.
No, I meant the crystal bed he's laying in. That's the ship he was sent to Earth in as a child.
Oh.
From the dying world Krypton. But unlike Superman, he just stayed in that bed.
That's pink kryptonite. Oh, no, they're just crystals. Okay.
Yeah. I think they look pink sometimes because of how the light shines through them. Alpha's face is the same.
Alpha's face was just right up in my face.
No, you're not.
You're not the
in
Power
fact,
Rangers.
the thing that defines you as Power Rangers is that you have powers.
Powers.
That'd be like a cop being like, well, I don't have my badge or my gun, but I'm still a cop. Well, no, if you don't have your badge and your gun, you're not a cop.
As I said in the rewind, the lesson of this movie is that you're nothing if you don't have power.
To what?
And that Tommy solves every problem, and that it's not actually really teamwork. We're just waiting for him to show up and save the day. That looks good.
Yeah, it does.
And
I like the set.
I like the redesign of the set there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still got the big Z door, and actually that the Z opening, like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and look how big it is.
Yeah. No, that's a big set.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Hi, Honey, I'm Home. That's in the trailer, right? I feel like that was a line that was
I don't remember.
Also, Earth and space in the background look really bad. That's just a picture that there was a light behind.
How is this not a playset?
Oh, look, and there's the fan.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all real accurate, but vaster.
But different, yeah.
Yeah. Something more vast. Someone explain to me why this wasn't a playset.
The most vastiest set in your life? Yeah, I don't know.
Were
there a lot of toys from this movie?
I'm not even talking the movie. I'm talking about in general. Why did we not have a playset for this? There was a Command Center playset. I had it.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's one now.
Yeah, but there was one for the original toys.
Right.
Do you know about it?
The Command Center?
Yeah. It's cool. It's got the big Zordon head in it, and it has this silly voice box that you talk in to make you sound like Zordon.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So this was disappointing to me in the movie.
That they just take away Rita's head?
That they take away my favorite character and they put him in a snow globe. But, also, you know what I'm going to say.
Why a snow globe?
Why didn't we sell that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That should have been everywhere at Christmas that year.
Yeah.
And this movie was a relatively big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is strange it didn't get a sequel.
It didn't do huge game, but I think they decided Turbo was enough. Because it wasn't that long after that.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You had one season after 3.
Yeah. We have 3 Zeo.
It was right after Zeo.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. That's about the turnaround time of the movie. Yeah.
And I think those guys kind of thought that they were making this sort of a movie when they got Turbo.
Really?
Initially, but probably before they went on set.
I see what you mean.
But I think they thought that it was kind of going to be like this again.
Yeah. It's kind of bigger, more different. I know you could get toys of these guys.
Yeah. No, I remember the movie toys. I had some of the figures, and there was a Megazord.
Yeah.
But...
Well, and then there was the McDonald's toys.
Yeah. The McDonald's toys were great.
Yeah. I like
they went all out with that. They had the Morphers with the coins, and they had the Zords on wheels that had the little figures that went in them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They had 2 sets, and they had communicator wristbands.
Oh, I didn't know about the communicators.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. They did that with Beetleborgs also.
Yes. Yes, I had the Beetle Ponder from...
I didn't even remember what they called that. I was just going to say the equivalent to the Morpher.
Yeah. So...
That was a really good map painting.
The Tengus are called Tengus.
No, they're called Tengas.
Oh, they Tengas?
Yeah.
No. I mean, the Tengus are called Tengus here.
Here, yeah. No, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to talk about the show. Excuse me. I'll let you make your point.
No, I am going to talk about Japanese history for a second.
I knew you were going to. Yeah, go ahead.
Where Tengus are a thing that exists on Earth in mythology that we created.
Uh-huh.
How does he know what Tengus are? And are Tengus in Japanese mythology based on these Tengus from millions of years ago?
I don't know, but it's... it's kind of nice to see somebody going to something mythical and putting it in this.
Also,
I guess.
How did they get Tengu's right, but Batman will later get it wrong in Nightfall, where he wears the mask of Tengu and it's a bat mask?
Well, you thought it was a bat mask.
I feel like this sets up a scale for this place that doesn't... Like, that's a big alien skeleton, and then... Like, we don't get anything like that.
Well, it's just because that was an alien that tried and failed, like they said. There's nobody here.
But there's... I don't know, I think it'd be cool if there's some alien stuff here. Like, we're going to another planet...
But, like, what would you do, exactly? Like...
Well, I mean...
Because I think the idea is supposed to be that it's barren.
Yeah.
I mean, not barren, obviously there's life
Have
there.
some cooler skeletons later. They're all just dinosaurs.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. But dinosaurs are cool! It's a kid's movie, Eric!
I mean, yeah. Is there something symbolic about destroying the dinosaurs because they use dinosaurs?
Oh, yeah, good point. I never thought of that.
Yeah, is there really actually something there where, like, they have to destroy... Like, is that supposed to be them, like...
Getting rid of their past selves to move forward to something else?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying we actually did anything with that.
No.
Obviously.
No, and I'm going to pay attention.
I bet it's completely arbitrary and they didn't even think of that.
I think it'll depend on what the dinosaurs are. Because I know there's a Triceratops, but if there's one for each of them...
There's not, though.
Okay.
There's just a Triceratops.
That is entirely arbitrary, and...
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You're reaching.
I'm reaching.
It's a good reach, though. I wish they had
it was
thought
right.
of it. Oh,
yeah.
That's great. There's something you didn't get in the previous commentary.
Or maybe you did, and we just forgot.
Maybe we both... Maybe we decided there was more to it, and we just kept going with that. We wouldn't stop talking about it.
So he said he started this 6,000 years ago.
Yes.
6,000 years ago, there were people.
Uh-huh.
No one wrote this down?
Nope.
No one said there's a big purple booger man that has giant robots?
I mean, there's a lot of that. You know, I don't know why we're so surprised when aliens show up and try to take over or destroy the planet, because they don't know which of those things they're wanting to do. I love Ivan Ooze's plan in this. It makes no sense. It is Shinzon. It's great.
Well, he's gonna dig up the robots.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He's gonna turn the robots on.
The exomorphic, whatever we called those.
Yep. He's gonna turn them on.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then profit.
Oh, okay. Well, so there's the line about destroying the world. There's also the line about ruling the world.
Yep.
There's the whole thing about how
well, you rule it till you get bored, then you destroy it.
Okay. I feel like you're maybe connecting dots that aren't there. What are you, 5? That's what we did when we watched this show. But you know, he's got the line about
look,
how...
sometimes movies don't have to explain everything to you. You have to give a little.
He's got the line about how it's hard to find people to run the planet for you when you take it over, but the people he's talking about, he is mind-controlled to dig up the skeletons and then make leap to their doom.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what he's doing. That's a good flip.
That's a good flip. I feel like they really remind me of something that I can't think of.
You can't put your finger on it?
Yeah.
With the Tengus?
Yeah, something bird-like.
You mean from some other thing you've seen?
Yes, but like the puppety, like maybe there's a Henson thing that they're reminding me of.
Maybe a Henson thing,
maybe Dark Crystal.
Oh yeah,
I think there might be something like the Tengus bird things that have similar voices in Dark Crystal.
Was there anything in Wizard of Oz that was bird-like?
I mean, there were the bird-winged...
Because you know there's a lot of Wizard of Oz and Power Rangers. Well,
yeah.
I say a lot. There's the flying monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh, and the...
Star Wars meets Wizard of Oz? Are we going to talk about that?
The chick that plays Dulcia was at Power Morphicon also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's cute.
Yep.
And originally not who was cast.
Right. It wasn't this character.
It was, wait, what?
They originally had some other thing instead of Dulcia.
Well, they had another actress cast as Dulcia, though.
Oh, really?
There's photos of her. It's Mariska Hargitay, who is the chick on SVU.
Oh, okay.
There are pictures of her in this costume. I don't know why she didn't.
I thought I read somewhere that there was even another thing they thought of before this, and they changed it.
I think you're right.
To her.
This seems like a movie that went through a lot of revisions. Or maybe there's just other things here that that
Yes.
I'm gonna get there. See, this is when you should be finishing my sentence.
I don't know where you're going with this. I'm too busy watching crazy whirly. Well, she's not whirly.
I think there's other things with her that, like, when they were like, "There's all these cut scenes," that there was more stuff with her and something else.
That's the closest to an injury a Power Ranger has ever had.
I want to say there's shots of her with like another like puppet suited person.
Oh, really?
I think so.
She wasn't supposed to be by herself.
Yeah, maybe. You can look up the Mariska Hargitay, Jadzia. Or Mariska Hargitay.
Jadzia? That's still Sia. It's not Deep Space Nine.
It's all in space.
Everybody knows who Zordon is.
Well, yeah.
Tommy does that grunt thing more than he has dialogue. You ever notice that? He's constantly breathing heavily and going, ugh, and ah. Maybe not nah so much.
Yeah. That's a more you thing.
Yeah, no, I do that.
So wait, if we didn't know Zordon, but we still needed help saving our planet, you wouldn't help us? It's only because we know Zordon. It's all about who you know, isn't it?
Well, it's because
there's no justice in this world.
That's the only way she can trust them is that they're with Zordon. I mean, that's supposed to be the idea.
It's all about who you know. But yeah,
well,
sure. The actress plays Kimberly described this film.
Sure, but what if they went there and they got her to give them the powers, and then it was so that they could go be Ivanuzes to go take over some other planet?
Okay, well, you don't have trials that your characters have, that people have to go through to get to the powers. If it's not like they're to.
That's a good
make
point.
Sure that the people
that you're pure of heart and you got the right sort of character. Yeah, that's a good point. It's also pretty convenient that there's exactly 6 of the new coins in the
Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
because I always remember the end of this, but I can't remember what the whole thing is. I just remember that if your parents try to take it away, then blow it in their faces.
That's actually not the line either. I haven't corrected you because I knew we would do this, but that's not the line. I like that he has a slightly different look here.
Mm-hmm.
It's reminiscent of the wizard from Fantasia. That hat.
Throw it in their faces.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe they made the ooze. I think that might have been a thing you could buy. I can't remember.
Think you might be right.
Yeah.
But there was so much gack in the 90s. It's hard to keep track of.
Oh, you're right. And that's what it was called too, gack.
Yeah. No, I chose the word specifically.
No, I'm saying that for anybody that doesn't know that.
You youngins. You don't remember the gack days.
Yeah, you're constantly like, why are you explaining this to me? I'm like, we have an audience, Eric. I'm not talking to you.
Man, look at that backlit painting.
Yeah, we're really here.
So I'm going to guess that all of the stuff that was cut from this movie is between the last time we saw them and here?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I bet you there was an adventure.
Yeah, because we don't have one of those.
Yeah.
And we waste a lot of time watching each of them walk off frame.
Mm-hmm.
Just to stretch this for time. No, it really feels like that's where a lot of the action is supposed to be, is that there's supposed to be like real trials to getting their powers. They're supposed to go through something, and it's way too easy.
Ninjetti.
I mean, there's a couple of token things they fight, but it's real easy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it seems like they were supposed to have...
So there's the Team BG song. That's Sin Surround. And that's the only place that song appears is on the Power Ranger soundtrack.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. It's a good song.
Weird Al has one of those with his Pokemon
It opens with the line, "When I was only a zygote."
There's the Polka something. Polka Polka. Polka Polka.
Mm-hmm.
Weird Al does a polka of all of the Pokemon names, and it's only on the Pokemon
No, it's called
soundtrack.
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Is what it's called.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's only on the Pokemon.
I didn't know why you brought that up right away, but that's what that is.
Yep. Well, sometimes I like talking about Weird Al.
I like this music.
Yeah, it's
I like
very
the link
90s.
to your Doom music.
I feel like there's a lot of tracks like this in like Casper and things like that.
Reminds me of Hail Lord Zed. You remember Hail Lord Zed?
Not off the top of my head.
There's the episode that has the monster that looks like a microphone, and he broadcasts, and then he zombifies all of the Angel Grove citizens. And he makes them go Hail Lord Zed.
I thought I was thinking like a music track where I'm like, not off the top of my head, I don't.
Well, that should be a music track. That'd be great.
Okay.
And then
so
Vulcan Skull are like, "Hey, Lord Bread," and I don't know why, but that's hilarious.
So what we just learned.
How long have they been standing there? It's nighttime now.
There's also probably action scenes in between those scenes.
Well, why though? Because they're here to get what they need to leave.
Trial or something. I don't know. But what we just learned about the viewing globe is that in this universe, it is just a TV because it had like static interference and
yeah, that's true.
And there was like
it's got tubes in it.
Mm-hmm.
That is a tube viewing globe.
Ivan Ooze's Smilex commercial is somehow able to interrupt the viewing globe.
I know this is another thing I talked about in the rewind, but isn't it bizarre that we have, and like so not self-aware, that we have sort of social commentary about over-commercialization and selling things to children with this material?
Well, it's just about selling things to children that shouldn't be sold to children.
Oh, is that
it's okay
what
to
it
sell
is?
this? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a real lesson here.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's real wholesome entertainment for children. I'm not even saying it's not wholesome, but...
I kind of like these costumes. They're fine. I don't like that they morph and that the hoods just go up.
No, I don't like that either.
It's real lazy. And these are obviously...
Although they do that in the show, too.
Do they?
Well, what do you mean by they morph and the hoods go up?
I mean, they just take the hoods down, and then they morph, and then the hoods are up again. Like, you can do that with your hands.
Oh, no, that's dumb. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I thought you just meant... I don't know what I thought you meant. But, like, in the show, when they morph, they're wearing that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I just mean, they're just walking around, and then they could just do this. I mean, no one can see what I'm doing.
I think it's weird that they have to morph twice. Like, these should be costumes that they have to put on.
Yeah.
I've always thought that.
Yeah. I agree.
This is the closest thing to, like, characterization anyone has in this movie.
Do you know why it is?
Is Adam not like... Yeah, we've had this conversation.
Probably in the original commentary.
It's
for the audience!
Yeah, well, go ahead. Well, why did you ask me if I know why that is, then? Go ahead. Why don't you explain it to the audience?
It's improvised. He thought it was Tommy the Frog, so he read it like he was sad that they had a frog.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you know what? You can just comment by yourself, sir.
I will. No, I always really liked that. One of the reasons I always liked these ninja suits is because it looked like a thing you could easily make in cosplay.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, there was no cosplaying the Power Ranger costumes unless you bought a Halloween suit.
Yeah. And those are those really painful plastic masks.
They were bad.
Yeah. Remember when we used to make masks?
Which goes without saying.
Remember when we used to make masks for children that could easily break and stab into their skin?
Uh-huh. Those were the good old days. Mm-hmm. Made a lot more things out of metal.
It built character.
That's right. Losing an eye every now and again.
Yeah.
Builds character. And now she's going to go be in the Harry Potter universe. She's going to go deliver mail.
All right, so are we supposed to get that she was an owl the whole time? She was an owl pretending to be a woman?
Or is she a woman pretending to be an owl?
Because their reaction is real, like, she was an owl the whole time.
It's almost like it pays off something we didn't see before.
Yeah.
Like they were followed around before by an owl or something.
Yeah.
Good point.
Probably in those cut scenes where this is a 2.5-hour movie.
Mm-hmm. Ectomorphicons. Oh, I was right about that. I was like, or something. What are you drinking?
He doesn't even build himself a throne. He's just sitting on rocks. He's such a lazy villain.
That's right. This guy's funny. I don't know why he's cross-eyed, though.
Well, that's what happens when you're...
Hypnotized?
When you're hypnotized.
Oh, okay.
This is really... And I guess... I think this is before, but this is really that scene from Lion King. where he's having
That's right.
what's his name sing for him.
Oh no, this is after that. I mean, Lion King was 94.
When is this?
95.
Okay.
This is the year after.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that reminds me of the scene in Lion King.
Yeah. I didn't think of that. You're absolutely right. It's just like that.
I can't remember what the bird's name is. I keep wanting to say Iago, but that's Aladdin.
No, it's Zazu.
Zazu.
So that Tengu warrior thinks it's Jack Nicholson then.
Yeah. They kind of look like the dragon guys in Next Mutation.
Oh, you're right. They do.
But with beaks.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not gonna explain her connection to Zordon or Ivan Ooze or
all these people just know each other.
There's
from
probably
some kind of exciting mystical adventures that happen in yonder year.
There's probably a prequel comic where Ivan, Zordon, and Dulcia were like three friends, and like they were vying for the affections of Dulcia, and then Ivan turned evil, and Dulcia, was sealed on this planet, and then Zordon, went and...
I'm wanting all that to be integrated in the comics so bad.
The
Boom comics.
The Ivan Ooze stuff?
Ivan Ooze, and her. I mean, I'd love to see her show up.
Yeah, no, that'd be really cool.
That'd be great. And I'm hoping we get... I mean, there are a few things that that I love the mythology of more than the actual, like present-day story stuff so much that I would rather stay in flashback territory forever. Krypton is one of them, and Power Rangers is another. Just give me a Zordon book. Seriously. Do whatever happened 10,000 years ago or whatever. I mean, like...
Or a Ninjor book.
A Ninjor book would be wonderful. Yeah, and do those... like single issue micro series comics that they do for characters in Ninja Turtles to give us backstories.
This won't mean really much to you other than what Jason has told you.
Yeah,
but there's a solid miniseries you could get out of the Magna Defender.
Yeah,
I mean, it would end with the scene we see a billion times.
I think you could
about
do
his kid.
I think you could do some really cool stuff with Triforia, with the Gold Ranger stuff. I think you could do some really cool stuff on Aquatar. Aquatar is one of my favorite things in Power Rangers.
Well, and these ninja costumes are clearly modeled on those, right? They're the Alien Ranger costumes.
Oh, good point. Yeah, I never thought of that.
Because obviously those costumes are the costumes of the Sentai Rangers of that season where they're ninjas.
Yeah. Yeah, they clearly make it... And that's the thing that always baffled me about this movie, too. We should talk about this. That they had to have looked at that stuff when they made these, because they know that next season they're gonna use them, but this is out of I'm so confused.
Yeah, like this really seems like it should take place between the seasons. This is how they get their new Zord.
Yeah, and then they replaced Dulcia with Ninjor, and they just tell the story again.
Yep.
And it takes longer.
It's 5 episodes, I think.
It's at least 4, I think. I forget. And I like a lot of that, too. Like, it's a really...
I haven't seen that stuff in a long time.
It's a decent alternate version of this. Mm-hmm. I always liked Rito.
You should do... I like Rito's design a lot.
Yeah.
You should do the those 5 episodes as a, like, Power Rangers The Alternate Movie rewind.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm not opposed to doing that.
No, that could be fun. Other movie.
I like Ninjor because he sounds like Marvin the Martian.
His voice doesn't fit his design at all. And how he's represented, he should be majestic and like wise.
Yeah.
And
we like to go counterintuitive with voices in Power Rangers a lot. I think it's funny. I said for years, Ninjor flies around on a rock, and then somebody finally said, wait, what are you talking about? It's a cloud. That's supposed to be a cloud? It looks like a rock. Okay. I really think it is just one dinosaur they fight. But I guess we'll see here in a second.
I thought it was a couple of them.
Uh-oh. Here comes the tail. And of course, when they walk in here, We talked over it, but Adam's got to say welcome to Jurassic Park. That's the obvious thing to say.
Yeah.
Especially a year after that movie comes out and is the biggest thing ever. That's part of the reason this is dinosaurs. I bet that's more of the reason this is dinosaurs
than the Power Rangers?
Than the fact that it's Power Rangers.
So this isn't...
They might not even be thinking that, because we never even get to see that Megazord.
Yeah. Not only is this not a Triceratops...
Oh, I guess it's not.
But it's... I'm wrong.
It looks like a rhinoceros before it looks like anything, right?
But it's not an Earth dinosaur. It is
like an
bones
alien
of an
dinosaur.
alien. Yeah.
Oh, I guess you're right.
This doesn't look terrible.
No.
There's stop motion that looks worse than this at the same time as this.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this is stop motion and whether or not there's a little CG in this, because there's obviously CG with the Megazord at the end, and it looks pretty awful.
But all of the CG, for the most part, looks awful, so I feel like we would know if it cut to CG. Now, some of it's stop motion, some of it, I'm sure they just have like a big... I think I saw somebody there. Did you see that?
Yeah, I don't know if any of this is stop motion. It doesn't look good.
It looks like really good stop motion.
Okay, so you're right. A little bit of it maybe is.
But did you see the guy holding the mouth?
Frames. No, I didn't.
Okay, we'll go back after
That's pretty great.
It moves forward, and you can see a guy holding it.
That's hilarious.
Or I'm crazy. But we'll go back after we finish the
Okay, everybody, let's rewind right now.
Yeah, everybody, we're going to rewind.
No, we're not.
No,
we're not doing that.
I was worried when we make that
Keep
joke.
watching this movie. We're all having a good time. That's a good design. You got the one bone that keeps your whole head on.
That seems accurate, right? That's
That's how that works.
That's how skeletons are.
Oh my god, that line. I never noticed that before. It's so easy to just dismiss the crappy one-liners and not even think about them, right?
But they don't talk like this in the show. They're not all about crappy one-liners. I mean, they make some dumb jokes here and there, but not like this.
Yeah, and nearly everything they say is the most generic thing ever.
Yeah.
But when he says biology paid off for you, oh my god. It's like, I was in a class about dinosaurs, and I know that there's that one bone that holds the head on.
There is something inherently funny about... Also, alien dinosaur. There's something inherently funny about yelling at mind-controlled minions. Let's show a little initiative. They're mind-controlled.
Yeah, all that tells you is how crappy your mind control is. Mm-hmm. So after he said finding somebody to run it for you, he's just going to run them all off the cliff. Okay. Leap to your doom. Somehow or other, I find a way to bring that up all the time. I like to say leap to your doom.
It's a good way to go to your doom, by leaping.
Leaping. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's other ways to go to your doom. You know, but it's less dramatic. Like, drown to your doom. Yeah. It doesn't sound good either, you know.
Run to your doom is okay. Never walk to your doom.
No, like, where would you be going? I don't know, into a furnace or something? You know? Drive to your doom?
Cruise to your doom?
That's a good one.
I mean, maybe better than leap to your doom is surf to your doom. So...
Life!
This looks awful.
Yeah, it's not good.
They're not good designs in general.
No.
And the CG's really bad. If he had to zap them... Like, it feels like they didn't actually need all that purple ooze. Also, why does he need people to make the ooze? If he is ooze,
yeah.
He made the ooze to sell.
How much ooze does he have inside him?
Okay,
hold
on. Hold on. Follow me on this.
Okay, sure.
He made ooze to sell to children to get their parents to come to him to make ooze.
That's true. And furthermore, why doesn't the ooze affect the children that bought it to play with it? Is it an ooze that is...
Well, I mean, at least internalogically, it only
work on the parents?
Adults, yeah.
Okay, but the problem I have with that is, wouldn't in most of the homes that would get that, the parents would end up not necessarily being anywhere near it, ever?
Absolutely.
That would happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because I buy my kid Play-Doh doesn't mean that I get my fingers on the Play-Doh.
It's not a great plan?
No, it's not. Wouldn't it be really funny if, like, 5 parents showed up?
Yeah.
That's what would happen, right?
If you turn this plan in for class, you get a C, maybe. Like, this is not a good plan.
You get at least a C minus.
6,000 years, and this is what you turn in? 5
parents show up. That's not enough people to dig up your Exomorphicon.
There's red markings all over this.
All over that plan. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just use the ooze to
fill them up in the first place? You don't need this middleman plan.
Well, I guess he needs them to dig it up.
Yeah, they're not there to okay, they're there to
They're
make
in a factory
more,
making more.
but they're making more ooze not to fill those up with, but okay, I guess partly to fill it up with and partly to get more parents there. But then why are they producing more if he's gonna be like, you know what? I'm sick of you people. I'm just gonna throw you off a cliff. Well, then you don't need the packaged ones anymore.
Yeah.
Wait, are they okay? Wait a sec. Are they making ooze or are they just packaging ooze?
I don't know.
You know what? I think that. To give them this much credit, I think it actually is a factory that just packages the ooze that he has already. I don't think they're actually producing the ooze.
Okay.
But why are we still making the little boxes if we're not going to do that part of the plan anymore? There's no reason to sell it anymore.
Because it's not a well thought out plan.
No.
He's not.
Okay, but that plan gets a C.
that plan
gets if they're there to make more ooze, you're like, well, no, there's this whole middle part you don't even need. Just take that out.
I guess these are kind of alien.
It's overthought a little bit.
I hate this.
Yeah. Did you forget that they fight these guys?
I forgot that they fight these guys. I forgot they fight aliens. Okay.
No, like I said, there's a couple of token things.
Yeah. But no,
it's right outside the temple.
Yeah.
I don't know why we couldn't have had some more stuff in the interim. I'm sorry. What do you hate?
The hoods are down, and then we just flash, and the hoods are up. Like
yeah.
It's a morph. It's not a morph. It's just putting your hood up. I can do that with a hood.
It's one of your powers. I mean, it's stupid power, but it's one of the powers you have.
That's what makes you Power Rangers.
You flash, and then you have a hood.
Yeah. Look, I'm not proud of it, but I didn't fall in that vat of radioactive chemicals for nothing.
You know what I would have done with this that would have made it instantly more fun to watch?
Write it?
I would. Fair, and I thank you for that. I would have. Yeah, we're shaking hands. I appreciate that. No, I would have made this a maze.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's
I would have said you have to get to the center of the maze to get your powers.
Yeah. No, that's great. That instantly makes us better.
Because these guys remind me a little bit of Centaur. Not Centaurs. What am I talking about? Minotaurs.
Yeah.
Centaurs would be fine.
Yeah.
One of those. Or Centaurs. A Centaur is a senator that's also a Centaur.
A Minotaur?
How lucky were these 3 guys that got brought in after the other 3 left that the very next year they get to be in a big budget movie?
Yeah. You know, I'm looking at this. These are sets.
Yeah.
No, I mean like capital S sets. Like,
they're not outside.
Well, and I always think about this. This is a thing that I have, having been to theme parks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like areas in theme parks. Like
when you're right.
When you go to the Jurassic Park part of Universal, it looks like this.
That's a great point.
I thought that earlier when we were somewhere, but I can't think of what it was.
I mean, yeah, this, the rocks and everything all look really fake, but it's not terrible.
This looks like a kid's playground in a theme park, which are made to look like movies, so...
But I think with Power Rangers, you get away with that.
No, I'm not... It's not a complaint, it's an observation.
And I've said this before a couple times, but one of the things I loved the most, and I've never had this with anything, I love the most about Star Trek Beyond was the fakeness. They look like they're on a soundstage planet. I love that! So I don't mind it when Power Rangers does it.
You know, I'm surprised we didn't do it this movie, because we hadn't done it yet.
Uh-huh.
You're making a big budget Power Rangers movie. How do you not automatically do Evil Rangers?
That's a good point.
Like, to me, that's the obvious...
Because it's too many characters that you have to deal with, I guess.
That didn't look great, but it didn't look as bad as I would have thought it would. That's kind of funny. Well, that's not.
No.
The landing is funny.
Eric, it's not... if your track is a little bit behind ours, he's not talking about
And that's
Billy's
not
line
funny.
there.
That's not only is that not funny.
What was it? I was talking.
The leg split where he almost gets hit in the Unmentionables. And he's like, that was close.
Whoa, that was close!
When I was a kid, everyone thought that was the funniest thing. Because
Really?
it's slightly off color for Power Rangers.
And you never go there in Power Rangers?
Yeah.
I'm never going to be able to have children now. Well, it's a good thing you kicked him there. What would have happened if we'd never kicked the guy into that door?
Well, you'd reload your save and you'd do it again until you got it to where you kicked him into the door.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that just disintegrating all those guys is what opened the door, and it just happened to be that the last one that got hit was into that door. But it plays like hitting the door is what opened it, right?
Yeah. Now, this is a problem with a lot of stories like this, a lot of kids' movies like this.
Uh-huh.
The great powers that you have to earn, you earn through violence.
Yeah.
There should be another component, and Amaze would add that component of it's kind of there's an intelligence to it. You just have to make it to the middle of the maze. You have to use your wits, and there's also monsters trying to kill you.
Yeah.
The violence is not what gets you to the powers.
And she should show back up and, like, make the determination or something, right? Like, she should be the
judge.
judge.
You are worthy, something like that.
They'll see it, yeah. But no, you're right. It's got to be about character.
Well, I mean, it's Power Rangers.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like strength of character.
Yeah.
And just beating up some rock soldiers. Not rock soldiers, but, you know.
These look kind of on par with a lot of kids' movies of the day.
Yeah.
These don't look terrible. These spirit animal things. A lot of these animals are flying and they don't fly. They're not flying animals.
That's a good point.
Kind of confused by the flying frog and bear. Okay, so this I do not like.
That the costumes are the same?
They're exactly the same. They should have been redesigned.
And we know why for season 3 it had to be that way.
Yes, yeah, that's.
But
different.
that's what's so. But it's not because they are confused about the continuity.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't do the ninja suits like that if you hadn't looked at the Sentai.
Well,
so we're doing the same thing with the regular suits. We can't make them some other cool design because we can't use them later. Except we know retroactively, and not even retroactively, that this is not part of that continuity. So no, you could have. Well, but then you're telling the kids they're going to get to keep seeing those suits later.
Well, what I would have done is, in the beginning, you have the regular suits, and then these are you use the movie suits. These movie suits,
see,
that's what you get at the end.
That's great.
Yeah, that's what they should have done.
You know what, and I think you made that point before.
I probably made it about it. Commentary.
That's great. That's what they should have done.
Mm-hmm.
Because that makes these suits look 100 times cooler.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the original suits photograph wonderfully.
Yeah,
they would still look good.
Yeah, I
agree.
In a
big movie. No, that's great. And you know what it gives you? It's like, and this is the same year, I think. It's the Batman Forever thing, where you got a prototype suit at the end.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I think that suit looks silly, but they make a really big deal out of it. The only thing he has left is prototype suit. It's like, oh look, it's this really cool souped up.
Yeah.
Bat suit. Oh, you're so right about that.
Wow, you don't sound anything like you do in the Glass thing.
Yeah, he does.
You sound like an old guy. You don't got a big, deep, booming voice.
You didn't look like a skeleton that was about to die when you were in the... It's because he's a skeleton that's about to die, Eric.
He does kind of look like Skeletor.
Yeah.
Okay,
I love Skeletor.
So this is a problem that Power Rangers always has. When they warp, or whatever you want to call this.
Yeah, they're beaming.
When they beam, there's a Black Ranger. If the sky is black, you can never see him beaming.
That's why... that's not the reason, but usually in Power Rangers, it's during the day.
Yeah.
We're not at night very much in that show. Until we do a Zord fight where we think it would look cooler if it was at night, and then all of a sudden, it's night, and then it's daytime when it's over. We do that a lot.
So
You know something that never happens during Zord fights? Mm-hmm. Rain.
That's true.
Never happens.
That's true.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
So they get back, and Kimberly's like, "Whoa, what is that thing?" They fight giant monsters all the time.
Yeah.
It's just a big robot.
It's true. And the first question you should ask when you get back is this a Zed and Rita thing, or is this an Ivan Ooze thing?
Yeah! No, that would be a great joke! Because they don't know that they're in a thing. Okay, so here's a story problem
Let's rewrite this movie and voice over everybody. Sure. I think we could totally do it.
Okay, here's a story problem I have.
Yeah?
So, we don't have Zords in the beginning of this movie.
Oh, boy.
What?
That just looks...
Oh, no.
It looks real
It
bad.
looks like garbage.
And I remember thinking that at the time.
Yeah.
Like, even in 95, that does not look great.
Mm-mm. Okay, so we don't have any Zords at the beginning of this movie. We do the fist fighting, and they lose their powers. They go through all this to get their powers back, and then immediately they just jump into Zords. They don't do anything with the actual powers. This could have just been a quest to get new Zords.
Yeah, that's true. But they still have to morph to be able to use them.
I know, but like they get on Earth and immediately it's a Zord fight because it's the end of the movie. I would have had some more hand-to-hand combat stuff on Earth. Again, it would mean more if they were in new costumes.
Yeah, and something to consider, and I can't remember if they actually lost the Thunder Megazord or not in the TV show, but is there any reason that this new power can't power the old Zords? They're fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing wrong with those. But again, there's no understanding of this mythology.
No.
Why are they so obsessed with the Ooze?
I don't
What's
know.
cool about it?
Again, this is
the 90s.
This is the GAC decade. This isn't new. Nickelodeon's been on for a while.
I mean, I guess it's just supposed to be cool because the guy that sold it to them is preaching individuality and doing whatever you want to, no matter what your parents say and stuff.
Well, and he says that they've been brainwashed. They haven't been brainwashed.
He doesn't mean that literally.
No. What I mean is, they're just being themselves.
Well, that's true. I agree with that.
What he really should be saying is, you're all bad children, and you should shape up or something.
Yeah, and of course, naturally you have to have the one kid that sees reason and thinks maybe that kind of rebellion is a bad idea.
The last Starfighter.
There'd be more of those. Well, it was premature CG. We weren't ready for that. I mean, we weren't ready to try to do what we're doing here.
Yeah.
It's exactly like Enterprise on TV in the early 2000s.
Well, and I know,
if these were dudes in costumes, it would look 100 times better.
But they want it to feel upscaled, right? Like that's really the thing.
Yes, that's true.
But it doesn't. It makes it look terrible. This looks like Reboot or the first season of Beast Wars.
Yeah.
Not even the second season of Beast Wars where they had the budget to do textures.
Yeah, and again, this isn't me not having historical perspective. I thought this was rough when I first saw it.
This is television CG on the big screen.
Yeah, which is why if you want to go upscale, you just build better costumes, you integrate it with some CG, and you just make it grander.
That's a bad line, and it's not a reference. It's not like an obvious thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, that bear kept looking blue.
I think we're majorly inspired by silly 50s science fiction films with the exomorphicons.
Oh yeah, no I can't think what that movie's called. But
I was trying to remember it too. Yeah, well, the Giant Ant movie, and then there's another one that's an insect that's more like one of these.
I'm trying to think what and it's a really generic like. It walks, they, something like that.
Yeah.
Them.
Them?
Them is one of them. I think Them is the giant movie.
There's another one that's just, and I've seen that, and it's great. But have you ever seen that?
I've never seen it.
It's really good.
Oh, cool.
But there's another one that's just a big, giant, like, segmented kind of insect that attacks, and I can't remember what that's called. But one of the Goosebumps books rips it off.
Okay. Homages.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
So, this is a kind of cool thing that we didn't get a lot in Power Rangers. We get it a little bit more in the Sentai, but the Zords fighting individually.
Yeah, that's true. You got to give them that.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to build to the Megazord sequence.
Yeah.
Because this whole movie is of course, besides, having to go get our costume, which I guess is actually kind of an origin thing. Because, we're going, okay, we're getting a new thing. Yeah. But this whole thing is kind of just stretching out the basic formula of a Power Rangers episode.
No, it totally is.
And here comes Tommy.
Where were you? How's he still flying? His wings are not out? That's not aerodynamic.
Look, powers, dude.
Robots don't have powers. They're robots.
His power from his suit allows that to happen.
Okay.
And
well,
also,
as long as there's an explanation in internal logic.
And also, they get their powers from Zordon's power, which is all through their suit and also inside the Zord, so they can still do whatever they want them to do.
If I ever get to do anything in my life, I want to, for something, get to shoot inside a cockpit and just act in a cockpit, and then it's integrated into something else.
That's great.
That's always seems so much fun to me. Now I have heard
you're like, oh, look what I was doing. Look what I was really doing.
Yeah. No, that seems like a fun thing to do.
You find out later what your ship was supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Now I have heard
that's rough too.
From both Starbucks, the original Battlestar Starbuck and the remake Battlestar Starbuck, and I guess some other people from science fiction. That's always the worst stuff. They hate shooting in the ship. I don't know why. I think the Battlestar people talk, the Babylon 5 people talk about that.
You mean they hate it when they're in the little individual
cockpits?
Yeah,
they don't like shooting those.
It's because there's no room, and you got to be in there for so long.
Oh, that makes sense. So,
because Star Trek actors complain about that with shuttlecraft too.
Oh, okay. Should I continue to say that this looks like garbage? We have a new garbage on the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I get to re-say my complaint about this Megazord.
Go ahead.
Because I hate this Megazord.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a face.
And I love this Megazord, but that's a nostalgia thing. Because that was the season that I finally started watching every episode of. I'd seen some of 2 when it was on, and this movie came out, and I was really into Power Rangers finally, and then... That third season was the thing that really
but it looks so
made
bad.
Me a big fan of this.
Not just because of the CG. It doesn't have a face. It looks terrible. Okay, maybe it's largely because of the CG, but it looks terrible.
Well, it does have... Okay, does it sort of have a face in the show?
Is
that the deal? Because we're saying this Megazord, but this isn't exactly what it looks like in the show.
Season 3 is not something I ever go back to.
Oh, really?
Because
you should. It's my favorite stuff.
That's totally not a model. When I watch Power Rangers, if I'm watching Mighty Morphin, I usually go to early stuff because that's really more where my connection to the show is. And if I'm going to watch other Power Rangers, I go to later stuff.
But I like 3 because it has a lot more ongoing storytelling stuff going on.
But I never go back to it. I'm not saying it's bad or I even really have an opinion on it. I kind of know what happened.
They seem to get so sick of the formula by that point, and they were filming so much of their own stuff.
Well, and so much of it are multi-part.
Yeah, that it goes its own way, and I'm not saying that it's thematically complex or character-wise that it's complex, but there's more variety.
We should do the opening of 3 as a follow-up to this.
That would be great. I would
Since
really
I'm not super familiar with it, so it'll be a little bit of a blind.
Well, I love all the Zeo Crystal stuff. I don't like the Kid Rangers so much, but that's when we get Aquitar, and they're a good stand-in.
Mm-hmm. Not a separate series, though.
No. Know what it was supposed to be.
Really?
What I mean is, it was supposed to get spun off.
Oh. That makes sense, especially that time period.
The girl that played the lead, the White Ranger, I met her at Power Morphicon, and she told me about that.
Oh, that's cool. This is another thing that's dumb, doesn't make sense. Why do they need... Like, he just sits on the back of it, but they act like, now we're at full power.
And you know, like, we've said ad nauseum the CG doesn't look good, but these wouldn't make for good toys either. If they looked the way they do here.
Yeah, no.
And they don't. They kind of... They look a little bit more like... I mean, at least the Megazord that they made for this movie, I think kind of looks more like it does in the show. But I don't remember.
I still think it's just that...
It's not glassy like that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like the texture of it.
No. Because there isn't one.
You'll see behind the scenes for big budget movies like this now where you'll see pre-rendering of CG things that looks like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Bulk and Skull are in this movie.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
You know, maybe Bulk and Skull should have been the ones with the kids. Like, instead of having a generic kid for this movie.
Yeah.
Bulk and Skull should be the ones that are like, you know, maybe we shouldn't just be goofing off, guys.
I've always thought that. And maybe cast their parents?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have it be their parents that they're trying to sell.
And
Like,
their parents are super, like, straight-laced and...
yeah. Because, like, where are their parents during all of this?
Somewhere in there.
I
Their
mean,
parents wouldn't touch Gak.
I guess they're old enough they wouldn't have bought the ooze.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Bulk would have. Bulk and Skull would have bought the
Yeah.
ooze. They would have thought that was cool. There's a whole thing to do with them. And they're there at the beginning and they just disappear.
I know this is a Dark Knight thing, but they won't die from that height. They'll break their legs, maybe.
That's true.
Well, it depends on what shot we're looking at. Some shots it doesn't look as high.
Some shots it does look higher, yeah. But aren't Bulk and Skull, since they're in the first scene, set up like they're going to be in this movie?
Yeah, and they're not until here.
And then we even continue the continuity of that scene to see where they land. To then set up Ivan Ooze.
Yep.
So, like, where are they? That's kind of unfortunate for... Because, of course, kids love them.
Yeah. I love them. This is kind of funny.
No, I like that.
I mean, it's kind of the beginning of them as just the old married couple that's the butt of every joke.
Yeah.
Like, that's where they go as characters.
And some of it works.
Yeah. I like it. It's the...
It's Krang and Shredder.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, I'm
that's
sorry.
exactly what I was going to say.
I thought you might go somewhere else with that.
Nope, that's exactly where I was going.
I want that snow globe so bad. What's weird is that being one of the few like actually funny things in this movie. Turbo has that too with Rita Repulsa.
Yep.
That bit where Divatox calls her is legitimately amusing.
So you know that thing about Chekhov's gun about. That's our second privates joke.
Second
in this
privacy,
movie.
yeah.
About how if you got like a gun in the first act, it has to go off in the third act.
Yeah.
You set up an asteroid coming by, right?
Uh-huh.
Like this is a thing. There was an astrological event that's going to be happening, tomorrow or something. Like you set that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
One line.
Yeah. Where was
Have
that?
Billy be like, "Oh man, I really wanted to see the comet going over, but now we have to fight." We have to go be Power Rangers.
Or as much as I love that Team AG is somewhere in this movie, instead of listening to that song when he's coming home, the dad should be listening to the radio.
Yeah.
And the radio is talking about that.
Yep.
That's in your first act.
Yep.
Oh, look, Bulk and Skull helped out this kid.
So did the hoses work, or is it because Ivan Ooze exploded?
I think the hoses were supposed to push them off long enough.
Okay.
And then they just got lucky that the Power Rangers did what they did when they did.
Sure.
But yeah, now Bulk and Skull are going to take credit for this when they were just two of many people that...
His final line being, "I love you,
helped out
son," makes it seem like his arc is that he didn't love his child, and he learned that he did.
Yeah, that he didn't have any appreciation for his kid, yeah.
But that's not what it was.
He was neglectful or something.
I mean, it was mind control. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
If that kid was so much better than all the other kids, he wouldn't have bought that stuff in the first place.
Were we expecting too much? Is this not exactly what we would have done in a Power Rangers episode? Maybe not. I mean, I think there are episodes that...
Well,
with
But it's less
PSAs that go
glaring
farther
when it's
than
not
that.
a movie.
Yeah.
Like,
That
it's just
parents are
an
going to get dragged
episode.
to.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to keep in mind that you are getting... Like, adults will be stuck watching your movie.
Yeah.
Even if it's not for them, they're going to go.
Yeah. Well, and we do that with kids' movies all the time now.
Throw them
where
a
we
bone
throw
a
in stuff.
little
Yeah.
bit. Like, that doesn't have to be your target audience, but if it's not a direct-to-video movie, and parents have to go and sit in the theater...
Parents have to be able to tolerate the movie.
Yeah.
So, instead of seeing this movie, I saw Kid in King Arthur's Court at the drive-in, and on the screen behind me is this movie. Because this is during the period of time where I'm not allowed to watch Power Rangers.
And how old would you have been at that point?
This is 96?
95.
95? I'm 4. Yep, Power Rangers made me slightly too violent, so I was not allowed to watch it for a little bit.
Because I was 11. I actually turned 12 right as this comes out.
So, you know how, it's all about, in Captain Planet, it's all about the power is yours?
Uh-huh.
Their motto is, the power is ours.
Right. Mm-hmm. We're cool because we've got power.
That thing still broke behind them. Did you see that?
Oh, so they did shoot this later. Oh, you're right. Everything is still broke behind. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, no, because it's some of this is still broken.
No, it's not. It's still upright, though.
Oh, it's upright. Oh, my goodness. I never noticed that.
Because they only have a broken set and a not broken set.
You're right. You could have shot those parts, or why weren't we more organized?
Yeah.
All that is coverage, right? You're just getting reaction shots.
That's bad filmmaking.
I mean, it goes without saying. Oh my goodness, that's great.
And we're so worried about Zordon, and all I can say is good to see you too, and like that's all we have with him.
Yeah.
Like, he's just
I'm the wise sage guy that doesn't say anything wise or sagey.
Yep. So something that I always thought was cool and foreshadowing before I knew what the word meant as a kid is that he says he wants to be the Silver Ranger, and then in space there's a Silver Ranger.
Yeah.
Or is it the Gold Ranger? It's one of the two.
No, he says silver.
It's silver. Yeah.
No, it's that escalation thing where he says silver and then no gold. I think is where it goes.
We'll see. We'll see in a second.
But anyway.
But as a kid, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." They knew that they were gonna.
Yeah. No, they didn't.
No, I'm an adult now, and I know that this movie is made incompetently.
Well, but it's not just that. They couldn't have, because they're basing it on Sentai that hasn't been made yet.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, Gold Ranger is just 2 after this.
Yep.
And is my favorite or second favorite costume. I can never decide.
What's
the
other one?
I love Gold Ranger. It's white. I mean, I love white. Everybody loves white. But
mine's green. I think everybody loves green.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, a lot of people love both,
Yeah.
but a lot of people go to one or the other.
And then if I had to pick a second, it would probably be the White Dino Thunder.
And see, I love Brachio.
Yeah. No, that's a cool one, but I really like the White Dino Thunder.
It's neat. Yeah, this movie has no characters in it.
Brian Spicer. Do you ever think he...
What if he did anything else? Yeah, let's look him up. Okay, so was this a watch where you enjoyed this movie, or was this a watch where
No, it's a bad
you would
movie.
rather have been watching something else?
I enjoyed the experience of watching it, but it's not good. Whatever feelings I once had when I was younger, I'm like, no, this movie's all right.
You don't really have
this
anymore?
movie's not all right.
No, it's not.
It's not good.
I think I am losing my nostalgia for this a little bit. I hate saying that. Mm-hmm. It hurts my feelings. I was real nostalgic for that. I used to feel like putting this in and watching it. I do not know if I will ever have that again. And you know what? Some of what kills it is better Power Rangers than we had before. Do you remember this?
No. I didn't even know.
There's this little mid-credit scene.
That's kind of funny.
Because you have to bring Red and Zeta back.
Mm.
Red
Maybe
and
I
Zeta.
do
Did I say
remember
Red and
this.
Zeta?
You did say Red and
Zed
Zeta.
and Rita, yeah. So that was nothing, but at least they come back in.
Well, but it was funny that Goldar was...
Oh, thanks for putting Brian Spicer back on the screen, movie, because I couldn't remember his name for a second. Okay, let's see what his credits are.
Oh, nothing.
He has done some TV stuff.
Oh, shocker. Oh, he's doing Hawaii Five-0, the new show.
Oh, yeah! Wow!
He's
one of the producers on that.
He's a working director.
He did Killer Instinct. Did you know there was a Killer Instinct show? Because I didn't.
Nope. As in the video game?
Oh, I think so. Was it a cartoon or something? No, it's not based on that. It's some police procedural. Oh, he worked on Lone Gunman.
Oh, really?
He was
as director?
He was one of the producers on Lone Gunman.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, all the credits you're saying are producers. So I wonder if he's a producer first and, like...
Yeah.
This was his
I'm wondering how he got that. Well, I need to look at his other credits, but I wonder how he got that if he didn't work on...
X-Files.
Maybe he directed on X-Files, because there's... Oh, he directed some 24.
Oh, cool.
In 07. 05 and 07. Let's see. Yeah, bunches and bunches of TV. Tons of it. He directed half of Lone Gunman.
Oh, interesting.
And he directed one episode of X-Files. Oh, it was one of the Lone Gunman episodes, though.
Oh, okay.
And he did he directed 6 episodes of the 3rd season of Sequest. And that's the thing he does right before this.
Does he do any Power Rangers other than this?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
And he directed 3 episodes of Superboy.
Oh, cool.
Anyway.
They'll probably look better than this.
Probably so. So,
in summation,
this was,
this film doesn't hold up.
no, it doesn't. And again, this is somewhat timely. Part of the reason we decided to do this too is because we've got the new movie kind of peeking around the corner.
It can't be worse than this.
No, I don't think so either. I think
it could be. It could end up being like a mess like Fan Four Stick or something like that.
Yeah, and it could be just not fun and too grim.
Mm-hmm. And dull. It could be dull.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call this movie dull. I would maybe call
I think
this movie
bits
dull.
of it are certainly dull. Yeah, it's so lacking in imagination.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hate to say that, but it is.
Yeah.
They are coasting real hard on colors and choreography and
not even great choreography. I think there's better fights in the show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, a lot of that's Japanese footage, but still, it's better.
It's hard to tell how much of what you're looking at is stuntmen too.
Well, that's part of what's great about Power Rangers costumes.
Well, no, but I'm talking about in the scenes where they're out of costume.
Oh, yeah.
I think too much of the cool stuff that you usually see the real actors do is maybe done by stuntmen in this.
You might be right.
Hard to know.
3D animation and morphing, one guy.
One guy did that.
3D animation is another guy. Does not surprise me.
Yeah, because
you know what?
These days there would be an extra song. By the way, this is the silly Alpha 5 I song. I don't know if you've ever listened to this song.
No. I've never made this far in the credits.
So we've got the soundtrack, and Jason, when I first I made a CD for him with a bunch of songs he likes. I put this on it. He would not stop playing it. He thought it was the best thing ever.
But if you tell me that all of the CGI in this movie was done by 2 guys, you know what? It looks pretty good. You guys, you did the best you could. Just the 2 of you.
You guys,
I let it slide.
You guys were making Atari ET in 3 weeks. That's exactly what that is. You never thought you'd see I in subtitles.
And it's not spelled how I would think it would be spelled either.
Actually, I don't understand that. It's AYE, and then yai has eyes at the ends of the words instead of E's. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
It's phonetically exactly the same. It should be the same word starting with the same word. Anyway, zombie parent dancer.
Oh man, look at that guy's name. Sotiropoulos?
That's a... Whoa!
Right?
Is it... See, there's Australia.
It's way Queensland.
Is it weird that I never thought of this before, but that we don't even like go to the high school or anything in the show. I mean, in this movie.
Yeah, no, we don't. Red Hot Chili Peppers does that Higher Ground song?
Yeah, and that's a remake. They repopularized it.
I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Wasserman did Cross My Line.
Yep. I don't remember where that is in this movie.
Trouble is the big song I remember from this.
Yeah. And Cross My Line is one of the songs that's on his album that was released back in 2012.
Cool.
I mean, this isn't a horrible song or anything, but Jason loves this song.
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody, thanks always for listening. We sure appreciate it. Finally, we've done it.
We did. We
got back to Power Rangers.
I don't know if we ever talked about on videos, but we've been talking about this for years.
I had to get you all the way to my house before we could do it.
Yep.
But there we go. There you go, folks. There's our commentary finally, again, on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. And we will come back sometime in the not-too-distant future and do the remake of this story months afterwards.
Yep.
From the third season. And I'm looking forward to seeing you watch third season again and see how much you remember about it, because that's my season.
Well, and it won't be a lot, because that's the period where I'm not watching Power Rangers. I'm not allowed to watch Power Rangers, so...
So is there something that you've never seen?
Oh, there's a lot of that I haven't seen.
Oh, I thought you went back at some point and watched it. You've never watched it?
I've seen bits of it. But it's not something I'm super familiar with at all. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever see any of Master Vinyl and all that stuff?
Yeah, I've seen Master Vinyl.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some stuff.
He's toward the tail end of that, but anyway. Once again, thanks for listening, folks. We sure appreciate it. I was Captain Logan.
I was Eric.
And we'll see you next time. Bye!